So on Tuesday, guys, the Red Sox traded Richard Fitz and Brandon Clark for Sonny Gray. Now, I know there's a lot of mixed feelings on this, but I personally love the trade because, for starters, Clark was never going to be a starter for the Red Sox. Richard Fitz honestly wasn't good enough to even crack the five-man rotation. I get he did, but it's like, can you really kind of trust him in a playoff series? I also like Gray more than I like Giolito. I thought that later on in the season, like Gio wasn't really holding up, and like I had concerns with that, yet alone paying him the $21 million dollars for that qualifying offer or whatever. So you bring in Gray, you've got a team option. The Cardinals paid about 20 million of his deal. So it's a win-win, man. You don't give up a top 10 prospect and you get a very reliable starter in Gray. Now, I'm not the type of creator to pull up the numbers and be like this and that. I will say though that the only pitchers with 400 plus Ks and fewer than 80 walks over the last two seasons, Skubal, Crochet, and Gray. Again, numbers can be a little bit misleading. You could show that and then you could show this, right? But clearly Gray is a good pitcher. Is he a number two? Is he elite? I don't think so. I think the Red Sox still should go get Skubal or they should go get Joe Ryan. We'll get into that in a different video. But in terms of Gray, I mean, this is a guy that just 2 years ago was in the Cy Young conversation. He was one of the best pitchers in the game. He still is a very good pitcher. So I like him as a 3 with Crochet, and then again with another 1B to 1A. If the Red Sox want to win the World Series, they're going to have that. Like the Dodgers have that. They've got Otani. They've got Yamamoto. They've got Glasnow and Snell. And like you got to have good starting pitching to even have a chance. The bullpen's more than enough. Starting pitching, not exactly the case. So the rotation with Gray, in my opinion, again, I'm not on the Red Sox coaching staff, but I'd have to imagine it's Crochet, Gray, Bayo, Dobbins, and Early. Sure, Harrison could be in there. Maybe Tolley, maybe Sandoval, Crawford. I don't know. Crawford's to me is more of a bullpen piece. I think Tolley is eventually going to be a starter. I just don't know if he's going to crack it right off of the rip, right? So that's going to be the depth. There's a lot of depth, but depth does not, unfortunately, win World Series, right? You need star power, and you really need both of them, being completely honest with you, because injuries are bound to happen. But the Red Sox are a better baseball team today than they were yesterday. I hope we can all agree with that. Even if you guys don't like the trade, the Red Sox became better. So you have to be at least happy with that. Like they have they have a better chance to win a World Series than they did yesterday. Again, they're not bringing back Giolito. This to me screams we don't really trust Giolito. So we're going to go out and get Sonny Gray, which I am totally okay with. It's funny because that rhymed, right? But in all seriousness, yeah, the Red Sox, they had to do something with the pitching. Crochet tossed an absolute gem in the wild card. And then Bayo came out and, man, he just wasn't good to say the least. He didn't even make it to 3 innings, just 2 1/3. And then the third game, I thought Connolly Early pitched well. The defense kind of let him down. I mean, going into Yankee Stadium in a win-or-go-home game as a rookie is crazy. He also had double-digit strikeouts against the Oakland Athletics, right? Yeah, it was the Athletics. Seems like forever ago. It really wasn't that long ago. But in his major league debut, he ended up tying a Red Sox franchise record. So Early is a stud. To me, he's definitely a number 4, maybe a number 5. As of now, he's only going to get better. Maybe he could be an ace one day. With the rotation right now, Crochet is number 1. The question is, who's 2 and 3? If you want to put Gray at 3, well, all of a sudden you can move Bayo to go get Ryan or Skubal. A report came out that the Red Sox have that potentially on the table. I don't want the Red Sox to do that. I'd rather them go out and just keep Bayo and have him next to Gray, Ryan, Crochet. I mean, I don't know why they would trade Bayo, but if they do want to do that, then I'd get why they would, because it's going to make it a lot easier to go get a Hunter Green or something like that, for example. Dobbins and Early. So if you go get one more pitcher, it pushes everyone back. I'd imagine they'd go with Early and then put Dobbins in the bullpen, because I don't think the Red Sox are going to get a lefty. Like, I don't think they're going to get Terry Skubal because he's going to hit free agency, and it's just not worth it in my opinion. Like, if the Red Sox win the World Series with Skubal and he leaves, I mean, it was 100% worth it. But it's like, it's kind of asking a lot out of the Red Sox to drain their farm system for a year of Skubal. Even if Skubal wins his 3rd straight Cy Young, you can't do that. You want to be able to win, but you want to be able to win over time, right? So I think Joe Ryan makes the most sense. The Red Sox were very aggressive to get him, and they've got the prospects to do it. Would I trade Peyton Tolley for Joe Ryan? I would personally, but I'm not in charge. And also I get why the Red Sox wouldn't, because he's technically their top prospect. But like, I don't really care what these prospects can do in the future. I care about what they can do for me right now. And Joe Ryan, again, the Red Sox get closer to winning a World Series. But if they were to have done that, they should have done it at the trade deadline. So I feel like to this point, I don't even know if they should trade Tolley. I think they could probably get Ryan without giving up Tolley. Like they've got not trading Campbell for Joe Ryan, but of course they've got Garcia. The Red Sox have a lot of prospects that they're in positions that they already have filled, right? Like they already have a shortstop in Trevor Story that Marcelo Meyer can kind of play around. That's the thing you got to note as well is like some of these prospects aren't even going to get on the field, so you might as well kind of move them and try to help capitalize on your ceiling right now. And it's not even the ceiling though necessarily. Like yeah, you're closer to winning a World Series, but it's also just the floor too. Like the Red Sox with Joe Ryan and Pete Alonso, like they're going to make the playoffs. But the ceiling is what we're looking at here, right? Because making the playoffs isn't good enough. It's never been good enough as a Red Sox fan. You've got to win a World Series, and feels like the team's starting to get back to that. You can't take too much away from what Craig Breslow was saying to the media because like he's not going to go out there and say, yeah, we absolutely plan to bring in a starting pitching too. Like he's not going to say that because it's just going to raise the trade value for these guys. Because if people know that, then they're going to charge the Red Sox more. If teams actually think that the Red Sox are kind of done, then it'll be a lot easier to negotiate a trade. So again, you can't take too much away from Sonny Gray's numbers, and you can't take too much away from what the media is saying because you got to realize this, guys, that the Red Sox, they're going to go out there and they're going to have a plan. And they're going to value guys more than we value them, right? Like Steven Matz and Dustin May. Like the Red Sox wanted Dustin May. I don't know why they wanted Dustin May. I still don't know why, but they saw something in him. I think, if I'm being specific, I think it was his cutter. There was one pitch specifically the Red Sox wanted him to throw more, and it didn't work out. He got hurt. But that's you trust in your staff. You trust in the people you're paying to make these decisions, and some of them are going to hit, like Narvaez, Crochet. Bregman obviously was a very good addition. And then some of them just flat out aren't. And Matz was very good, so it's not like Matz was a bad trade. I thought personally, though, that the May trade, like trading Tibbs, was kind of crazy. Maybe the biggest piece in the Devers trade. The Devers trade was a success because the Red Sox became better doing it, but also they technically became worse because they just didn't have remotely the same amount of power. Like if you lose Bregman, all of a sudden you don't have a third baseman, you don't have Devers' bat, and you don't have Bregman's glove. So it's just a dangerous situation for the Red Sox to be in. I personally would. I'm a fan, bro. So of course I'm gonna say bring in Alonso, re-sign Bregman, and bring in Joe Ryan. I don't think that's gonna be even possible. It's kind of the thing here, but if that is possible, I mean, absolutely go ahead and do it. But all I can really ask is that the Red Sox make good decisions and they try. Like if they actually go out and get aggressive and they don't get these players, and let's just say the offers are ridiculous. Like if they wanted Tolley, Garcia, they wanted, I don't know, this and that. Like if they wanted like way too much for Joe Ryan at the deadline, then obviously do not pull that trigger. But even if it's a little bit of an overpay and it gets you closer to a World Series, then I'm okay with that. Like there was a lot of teams. Like honestly, for being real, the Mason Miller trade seemed like an overpay. But when you get Mason Miller, again, you come a lot closer to winning a World Series. You have a lockdown reliever on a bullpen that's already good. So I trust Craig Breslow. Man, it's just so difficult for me to say this and that when I'm not in the room with him. But man, you just look at what the Red Sox did, and I thought they had a team that was good enough to win a World Series, but they were a couple of pieces away, and I'd rather them get those pieces in the offseason versus get them at the trade deadline.